Hi and welcome to How It Scales. Today we're looking at Sweden, a nation on high alert. Imagine trying to rewire an entire country for war after 30 years of peace. For decades the infrastructure, the society and the hardware of this nation were tuned for civilian life. Now they have to lock down. After the Cold War ended, Sweden took what politicians called a strategic time out. They dismantled their territorial defenses and enjoyed the economic boost of a demilitarized Europe. Then, Russian tanks rolled towards Kiev. The illusion of a safe, predictable Baltic region evaporated. Sweden was forced to abandon its long-held neutrality to survive. The physical evidence of that pivot is hanging right here. 200 years of non-alignment officially ended as Sweden integrated into the NATO alliance. To back up that membership, Stockholm approved an 18% defense budget increase for 2026 alone. These billions are funding a total defense architecture designed to protect the nation across every domain. This diagram maps out where those resources are going. To secure the Baltic frontier, Sweden is hardening 4 distinct vertical layers: the seabed, the surface, the sky, and the orbital space. A modern defense cannot rely on a single domain. Survival requires these layers to be vertically integrated, ensuring that the threat in one layer is met with a response from all of them. We start at the bottom, the Baltic seabed. This body of water is shallow and acoustically complex, with fresh and saltwater layers that severely distort traditional sonar. To dominate this environment, the Swedish Navy relies on this, the A-26 Blekinge-class submarine. This exploded view highlights the Stirling air-independent propulsion system. Its closed cycle of liquid oxygen allows 18 days of silent submerged operation. Near the nose, a multi-mission bow portal acts as an underwater lock to quietly deploy autonomous drones and divers. By controlling the seabed, Sweden denies adversaries the ability to covertly cripple a region's energy and communication lifelines. Moving up to the surface layer, we hit Gotland. This coastline belongs to a strategic island that acts as a natural choke point for all maritime movement in the Baltic. Because of its location, Sweden has opened 17 military facilities to the US forces under a new bilateral agreement, allowing allied troops to pre-position equipment directly on the island. But the surface layer isn't just about soldiers. The total defense doctrine reactivates civil conscription and mobilizes the private sector, ensuring the entire country is prepared to support military logistics during a crisis. A fortified base is only effective if the civilian society is behind it, the power grid, the transport routes and the medical system that can withstand sustained pressure. And in the sky, the threat has changed. The war in Ukraine showed that modern conflicts systematically target civilian energy and transport infrastructure to collapse national resolve. Sweden's response is a 1.6 billion territorial air defense initiative. This moves protection beyond military units to shield cities, bridges and power plants. The military is rapidly procuring modular missile hardware like the IRIS-T SLM to create a mobile, distributed defensive net across the country. This map illustrates the logic. Multiple independent units use compact radars to create overlapping zones of detection, specifically tuned to intercept low-altitude threats like drone swarms. Extending this umbrella over civilian targets prevents an adversary from breaking the nation's will through the destruction of basic services. Finally, we ascend to the orbital layer. Space is now essential top tier for a vertically integrated defense grid. Sweden is now investing 140 million to launch a sovereign fleet of military reconnaissance satellites. This sovereign satellite network beams intelligence directly to Swedish ground stations, ensuring the nation isn't blinded if allies are occupied elsewhere. As shown, this direct intelligence provides the crucial targeting data required for long-range missile systems Sweden plans to field by 2030. Sovereign space capabilities guarantee freedom of action, ensuring the nation can see and respond to threats without waiting for external approval. When you zoom out, these 4 layers, seabed, surface, sky and space, lock together, forming a single synchronized defensive grid protecting the entire region. This is the physical execution of a strategy called deterrence by denial. It works by making your defenses so robust that any potential aggressor realizes the cost of an attack will always be higher than the reward. By integrating advanced technology with total civilian mobilization, Sweden is becoming a primary blueprint for resilience within the NATO alliance. Maintaining this momentum requires sustained political resolve led by Prime Minister Ulf Kristersson, as the country navigates the most significant security shift in modern history. The combination of 5th-generation hardware on the seabed and independent intelligence in space fundamentally shifts the strategic math against any regional aggressor. Securing the Baltic frontier ultimately means engineering a society where the military and the civilian layers together make the price of an invasion just too costly.